Alright, so still here with me. Appreciate it. We're gonna keep this video ACPD. We're gonna keep it in law enforcement. Appreciate the love, man, for real. But this video, I'm gonna talk to you guys about the first time I thought this ain't what I signed up for. I wanted to be a police officer. I didn't think I was gonna be doing this type of shit. But I also got a big learning experience from that, from this situation, and just from law enforcement in general. It was a learning experience. But this was my first time learning how police treat shit like a game. And if you don't know what the rules are, if you don't know what the law is, you're gonna get fucked up if you put yourself in a situation with law enforcement like that. Like, police turn small things and they work their way up through your ignorance and through you not knowing your rights and your laws, and they turn it into something big. It happens all the time. You see on the fucking news how people get pulled over with 500 pounds of weed and 300 pounds of cocaine and shit. They get stopped because they ran a red light. But then it's kind of like, okay, that's a traffic violation. That has nothing to do with, but then they get, once the police officer walks up to the car, they start panicking. They start shaking, they get nervous, and police, I heard this shit a lot of time. One of my sergeants told me this shit all the time. He told us, you have all the time in the world. If you have somebody stopped and you feel in your gut, if you feel like you got that, but it's going to take some time, or it's just kind of like you're going to work somebody, whatever, you have all the time in the world. You have access to prosecutors. You have access to sergeants with 15, 20 years of experience. You have access to a whole bunch of shit while that person is just sitting in the car stressing, thinking, oh my God, are they going to find my drugs in my trunk? Are they going to find this? Are they going to find the guns in my kit? Are they going to find this? And 9 times out of 10, they blow it because they just can't handle that shit. I'm not getting on anybody for that situation, but it's just like, you really got to be a strong, solid motherfucker to be doing that type of shit, deal with law enforcement, and kind of get away with it. But it don't really happen like that. So when I talked to you guys about my FTO experience, I told you about my FTO. He was a great dude, older guy from Philly. You know, he didn't really take no bullshit, but he was still kind of like, look, we're not going to get into shit if we don't really need to. If it's in front of us, if it happens in front of us, or we're nearby, boom, of course we're going to take care of it. But we're not going to be doing all these random stops and doing all this bullshit and this and that, because one, I don't want to do that shit. I'm older. I'm not going to be chasing these motherfucking kids down the street. I'm not going to do all that shit. And I was cool with that. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to get some action. I wanted to kind of, get my feet wet and see what the job was really like. But I had no problem with him saying, look, if there's nothing going on, we're just going to drive around that city. And I tell you one thing about my FTO, that motherfucker would drive all night long. The only time we would really stop was for our breaks. We would have I think it was like a 45-minute break, the main break, or an hour break, and then like a 15-minute break. But while we were on, non-stop driving. We may stop in like an alleyway for like fucking 5 minutes. He'll go and play on his cell phone or some shit, and then boom, we back on. But he was constantly driving, and even if he wasn't getting into shit, he was giving me stories or telling me, different experiences, or testing me with shit. Like, we're just randomly, I'm falling asleep. Like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. He'll be like, yo, what street we on? Don't look. Don't be looking around. If shit, you got to know where you at. So it was always that type of shit. So it was love. I loved it. I loved that type of, teaching. But also during FTO, he told me, look, because I'm older, because I don't like dealing with this type of shit, Fridays and Saturdays is going to be a good chance I'm not going to be here. Especially on Fridays, because that's when everybody's coming into town. So it's a fucking madhouse in the city. I don't want to deal with that shit. I said, all right, no problem. I get it. That's cool. No problem. So probably a Friday or a Saturday, I don't remember. He took off. I had another FTO that I was going to ride with for the night, and he was a good dude. We get in the car, we get everything started. We put ourselves out, and we're driving around for a little bit. It's a quiet night, not much shit going on. And quiet, I know in law enforcement and paramedics, EMTs, quiet night don't mean I'm sorry, but it was quiet for the most part. And we're driving down Atlantic Avenue. He asked me, he's like, yo, Bavera, you and your FTO, like, have you guys gotten any arrests or have you really gotten into anything yet? I said, no, like, I have no arrests yet. I haven't really, like, it's been kind of slow, not much really happening, but, you know, he's been helping me. He's been getting me into some shit, but he hasn't really been, like, well, not he hasn't really been doing, but it was like, there's really not, like, there hasn't been much for us to kind of get into. He said, oh, okay, no problem, I got you. So we keep driving. I don't know where this motherfucker makes a U-turn. Hard-ass U-turn on Atlantic Avenue. It's probably like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Hard-ass U-turn out of nowhere. Literally drives up on the sidewalk. Like, bro, like, I was just kind of like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? He's like, get out. We get out the car. Stops a guy riding the bike. So I'm just kind of like, because he's not telling, I don't know what's going on. He's on the radio, he's like, yeah, put me out with one. He's not saying why, he's not, so I'm just kind of like, what the fuck, what nigga doing? So, me and him approached the guy on the bike. Older guy, 50, 60 years old, whatever. I think he's probably like getting off work, like working a kitchen job or some shit. He's like, yo, what's up, guys? Like, why you pulling me over? What's up? Like, what's up? FTO says, you don't have a light on your bike, right? Oh man, looking at him like, a light? You stopping me for a light on a bike, bro? What the fuck? He's like, yeah, man, it's city ordinance. You gotta have the light. And dude's getting smart with him. He's like, bro, you fucking kidding me for real? Like, and I'm thinking in my head, like, a light on the bike? I didn't even know you got. I would get stopped every day. I didn't know that shit. I'm like, but then I'm thinking like, we stopping him because of that? I was like, that's not what I signed up for, stopping people with bikes. But FTO asked him for the ID. He gives him the ID. He gives me the ID. He says, running for warrants. I've never ran warrants yet. I'm still kind of fresh, because like I said, when I was with my regular FTO, there really wasn't much shit that we could get into, as far as like running warrants or running and doing shit like that. Like if we were on a call, of course I would do, but like he wasn't stopping just random people and just getting that type of practice in. And in a way that's good, and in a way it's bad, because obviously you learn how to run warrants, you learn how to write proper tickets, you learn how to kind of get a feeling with that shit. But on the bad side, it's just kind of like you're stopping people for fucking bullshit. You're stopping people for bikes and not having brakes on their bike. That was real shit. I didn't know any of that shit until I got on. So he's telling me to run the dude for warrants. I'm looking at the ID kind of like, I said to him like, do I say the birthday or the eye color, or like, I'm asking him, because he's like, nah, do it like this is that. I go on the radio, I go to dispatch, I ask for him for warrants. He comes back negative, give the guy his ID back. Sir, sorry for the night. I don't even think we gave him a ticket. The rest of the night, like, it wasn't really anything that popped off or anything that really stood, but that was the first time. That was when I was just kind of like, I had my Jake Hoyt moment from Training Day. That scene when he's riding in the car with Alonzo, the little girl, getting raped by the fucking homeless dudes. You know, Alonzo fucks them up. Jake trying to arrest them. He's like, nigga, for what? We gave him street justice. We fucked them up. We took their drugs already. The cousins, the essays are gonna fuck them up already. What do you want us to do? You want to lock us? And Jake over here like, come on, man, that's not what I signed up for, man. I came to do police work. That was my job. Like, that was my thought. Like, bro, I'm trying to get into some shit, bro. Like, you got me doing these motherfucking chasing niggas on bikes. I don't want to do that shit. But that's how you learn how maybe that guy had a warrant. Lock him up because of that. So you got him because of the bike. You got him because of the warrants. Maybe when you try to arrest him, he pulls his arm away from you, and that's resisting arrest. That's another charge. Maybe when you finally, got him in custody, when you pat him down, you search him, maybe he got drugs on him. Maybe he got weapons on him. That could be like 5, 6, 7 charges just off a bike stop because of a light. That's how that shit goes. Traffic stops be the same way. Like the example I gave you earlier. You run a red light, you run around with a bunch of guns and drugs in your trunk, bitch, you better make sure the paperwork good. You better make sure you hitting every stop. You better make sure everything is perfect when you're driving. You better make sure you on point with your shit, because cops have time. And all it's gonna take for you is run the red light. You're gonna be nervous talking to the police. You're gonna spill the beans, and then you're gonna have a ticket for running the red light. Oh, you got guns in your trunk? Okay, weapons. You got drugs in your car? Okay. Maybe you're in a different state, so you're transporting drugs through, different state lines. That's another charge. Then it's a game. It's a game. So whatever side you on, whether you want to do illegal shit or you want to get in law enforcement, and let me be clear before I finish this statement, because I'm not promoting no illegal, no drug, no violence. I don't do that. I'm not promoting no bullshit. So whatever you do, just make sure you're good at it. Make sure you're on point, because cops, they're allowed to fuck up. Obviously, they can't do crazy shit where they're going to end up in court, yada, yada. But they can fuck up. And fuck up, and fuck up, and fuck up, and fuck up. And their main goal was still try to get you. You being on the street, running around doing illegal shit, the moment you fuck up one time, and the moment you deal with a cop who knows his shit, it's over. Be smart. Be smart, and subscribe to the channel too, though. Peace.